Hello Patreon friends. This video is dedicated towards giving as much clarity as I can to cleaning out your family lineage. I have left descriptions on how to do that inside the Patreon group on the journals for Sacred Fire and things like that. So you can find some of this information there. But here I'm going to put it in a more condensed way. In all the things I talk to you about, they have come from my own personal experience, my own experiments, my own challenges, my own courage, my own ability to figure things out and to get success from them. So I didn't start out with instant knowledge. It's a trial and error. So when I give you a piece of information, it's from my own experiences and it's from having success with the way I did it. So this is why I lay it out for you to try, because I had success with it, so I'm offering it for you to try. It's like any mentor you know, or any coach, or even just any person who's a teacher. They have done the work, they have brought forth the knowledge, and they say, here. And it's up to you to try it. See how it works for you. So when I was learning to do the lineage idea, cleaning out my lineage, and I had been told the Sacred Fire could cleanse my family history on both my parents' side, and I was learning about that there are attachments and there are addictions, like if you trace your family way back, maybe there's a long line of alcoholism or sex abuse or victim mentality or low self-esteem and people failing and failing. But there's also in those tens of thousands of people great magic that was performed, great alchemy. You have great people in your lineage that had spiritual gifts, profound spiritual gifts they used. They had high intellect for their time period. They had magic and they studied it, or they studied alchemy. You have these things because we're talking tens of thousands in your lineage. So maybe you can access some of that, but to access the fullness of it, you need to get rid of the noise. So I started using the Sacred Fire, and when I would sit down and meditate with it, I first had to try to figure out how to clean my past out. And when I would sit for a long time in meditation, I began to get this visual cue dropping in of this long, long timeline, and to run the Sacred Fire down the long timeline. So I began to call on the fire. Remember, we have to anchor it into our cellular structure. So we have a power base. You can do all the affirmations you want. You can make commands all you want. But if you have no power, you can't release that energy to do anything. So you have to spend time building your power base. And you have to protect it with the sphere of protection. The sphere of protection not only protects you from the outside, it holds your power base. It keeps it contained. It generates it. It keeps renewing it because you keep adding more Sacred Fire to it. So you're renewing it and you're building a power structure, a base. So when you release that fire for healing or for the future changes or for the past, it actually has tangible energy to it. So when I release it into the past and I see it moving through the past, and it's like a ball of energy just going down a line, and I would sit there and watch it and watch it and watch it and watch it until suddenly it was no longer there. It just disappeared either from my inner vision, or it petered out, or for some reason it stopped. Now when it first happened, I didn't have an answer to that. Did I clean it out? Was it done? So I kept doing it because until I get some sort of confirmation, I kept working it. So I would build my power. I would release that power. I would see that ball of energy going into the past, and I just kept channeling it down that timeline over and over and over again, however long it took for me to do that and however long it'll take for you to do that. And then at one point, what happened to me was when one day when it kind of went all the way to the end, I saw this burst of light at the end that was unusual. I had not seen that before. So I thought, okay, I must have completed that idea. So I asked for confirmation. So that night when I went to sleep, I had this out-of-body experience, and I was standing and I was looking at my timeline. And all of a sudden, that huge ball of energy that was the blast at the end started running back up the timeline, and it began to happen like a snowball effect rolling down a hill. It kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And suddenly I would see these bodies kind of like in a mirror, you know, when you have those line of hall of mirrors that keeps going like this, and I could see my children, grandchildren, great-great-great-great-grandchildren behind me. And this was when I was standing in my astral body. And that ball of energy just came through and went right through me and then kept passing on behind me. Okay, so then I knew something profound had happened, that the energy had been cleared, and there was this great force that was now moving forward. So the following day, when I was in meditation again with the sacred fire, I physically got that energy. I had been meditating, and so what I did during that meditation was I said to my I am presence, and when I address my I am presence, I'm addressing all of my higher consciousness on the divine blueprint. I'm reaching up and I'm saying, all of you that have the wisdom, all the knowing, come down and help me here, because this is what I am affirming. I am affirming that this lineage has been cleaned. And I am affirming that there is this powerful energy that came forth and had moved through the line in through me and onto the future. And I said, I want to understand what that energy was clearly. And then I began to meditate. And as I was meditating, the energy got activated again. And when it got activated, I was told that because all of the negativity had been cleaned out, the positive momentum from thousands and thousands of lives could now be brought forward. And it's an as above, so below. On the astral plane, I had summoned it forward, not understanding totally what my higher body was doing. And I call it my astral body because it wasn't my fifth density body. It was before I knew of a fifth density body. But it could be my higher astral body, but this somehow magnetized it forward. And so what I did physically was to as above, so below. I said, okay, I'm feeling guidance to summon that energy again, because Spirit had said it's all your positive traits, it's all the positive momentum. So I got this strong urge, since I had already achieved it there, to achieve it here. And I summoned that energy. Now it takes power to summon. This is why we build a power base. You have to have power to release energy, and you have to have power to call energy. So I summoned all the positive traits of my lineages. And I didn't know what would happen, but that same light that was in the astral world and that I had seen before that in earlier meditation when I had finished and there was this explosion, that energy now, I saw it moving, but I didn't see it so much on a timeline. It just suddenly started moving. It was like in the physical, and it was moving and moving and moving, and it hit me and it went poof. And I absorbed all of that. And then then I could feel like it was kind of going behind me into my children and great-grandchildren. But the power of it anchored in me, the majority of it, because I was the one that summoned it. And so I am carrying all the positive parts of my lineages. And this is why we did this month the whole inner spiritual study guide, which I don't know if any of you guys are even looking at the stuff I do in our group, or if you even care. But if you care, everything I put in group is to help you. It's designed for a purpose. And so the inner study on your family lineage and your talents, your family lineage, your gifts, That's all designed to help you once you've cleaned out your negative energy. It's now helping you to, okay, what positive traits came forward for me? Because you can summon them. What positive traits from my lineage do I have to work with? What do I have now as far as physical talents? And what do I have now as far as spiritual talents? Because somewhere in your legacy, in your lineage, you have people who had spiritual gifts, who were healers, who were clairvoyant, who worked with herbs, who worked with magic, who worked with alchemy, who could do great things even farther back. So all that power is available to you if you will do the work. And this is my experience of it. So I'm offering my knowledge to help you, because it's like, I don't know who, Tony Robbins, always talking about why reinvent the wheel when someone else has invented it? Why would you spend 20, 30, 40, 50 years trying to understand something when someone else has already done it? So take advantage of what I know and use it. And it may not be exactly identical. I'm not saying it has to be absolutely exactly like I did it, but I have a blueprint for you. So start with the blueprint and then work with it and see how you can produce this same knowing that the lineage is clean and that you have increased your power base, because now inside your DNA, all those powerful, wonderful traits are vibrating and they're speaking to your divine blueprint, and not all the negative garbage interfering with your divine blueprint. Now your divine blueprint, which informs and works with your DNA, is working on all those past powers, and you've now become a profound power base. There's more I could talk about on this, but I'm going to stop there, because I just got this inspiration to start talking about a whole nother area of power, and I'm not going to do that here. This is a subject on lineage. I may do a video on it for YouTube, but this is a subject on the lineage work. And so if you have any questions, you know to post comments, and I'm here to help you. Okay, thank you.